Okay, everyone, we are here once again with the Cars Casually gang. We've got Paolo, we've got Nix, we've got Chris, we've got Gerard, and today we're going to talk about the real stuff. We're going to talk about what can you buy under $1 million and why these guys have chosen their cars. I don't agree with them. In a lot of ways, I don't. I think there are other choices, but we're going to discuss all of those choices, and we're going to talk about what is available for different people and different uses. And we're going to see who is too focused on their sports cars and so on. So we're going to start now. Let's go. Chris?
Okay, so my choice for cars under $1 million is the Kia Saluto EX80, which is their top of the line model. It comes in at $755,000. The reason why I chose this is because I tested this a while back and I found that it actually has everything that I need in a car if I were on a budget. It has the leather seats. It has a nice audio system, 4 speakers and 2 tweeters. Has a 7-inch touchscreen with Android Auto, which is essential to me for you guys who've been following this for a while now. And it's a nice small car that's fun to drive. And the reason why I didn't choose something more expensive, even though I know our cap is under $1 million, I could have gone with something like a Jazz or a City, which is a little higher up the tier list, is because the Saluto actually feels on par with those cars, even if it is smaller. But in terms of drivability, in terms of comfort, in terms of features, I find that it has everything I need. If we look at some photos, which I'll share with you now. Oh, hold on.
What were the other Kias under that 1 million cap?
The Picanto.
Well, yeah. There's the Picanto. Yeah. The Picanto is a good car. Been refreshed recently. Well, not too recently, but it's just a little too small for me.
Okay, you're talking. Okay, you find the Picanto too small for you.
Yeah.
Just everyone. Chris has a family with a new child.
Yeah.
So his choices will reflect the fact that he is a young, up and coming family man.
Yeah.
So he likes his
car. I chose this mostly as a personal car. Look, it's got great leg room at the rear. It has nice two-tone leather seats. Two-tone colors on the door panels as well. And
would you choose that interior?
Actually. I mean, it's not boring. It's not drab.
Is it leather?
It's leather, yeah.
Would you choose a white leather interior with a new baby?
It's actually no. Good question, yeah.
Good
I said, this is a personal car choice, so baby time will be minimal in here.
Yeah, that's what you.
Yeah. Actually.
Yeah, but
our car here is like a Vios with the G variant. It has the cream interior, and I have like a little sister. When she was younger, she would like put her feet up. She would make drawings in the car. So I learned from that.
Yeah.
So
the nice
Chris is defined as a young millennial. Knows more. Knows enough not to buy a white leather seat car with a baby. Okay. No, but actually, good. So, is there anything in the Kia lineup? Is there anything upwards? If your cap is 1 million, let's say, because you have a 1 million peso choice for a corporate buy or something.
Yeah.
What was the next car up?
Well, the next car up is the Rio, which is 985. But at that tier, I feel you're opening yourself up to other choices. The decision becomes a lot more difficult. At this level, at 800 and below, I feel that the Saluto is one of the best, if not the best option at that choice, because it does give me everything I need that other cars will also give me at 200,000 more. And if I can get that at 200,000 less, then I'll take it.
All right. Are there any additions that you could add to this car? Are there any options that would bring?
Well, it looks a little. Admittedly, it looks a little plain. It could use better wheels, I guess. And yeah, I mean, but at this point, I'm not really so concerned on aesthetics. If I'm on a budget, I mean, I have to be realistic.
What are you saying about the car, Chris?
I mean, the cars at this price level aren't going to be too flashy. They're not going to be
You're right.
attention grabbers. That's not what they're for. That's not the goal here. The goal here, at least for me, was a car that I could enjoy while I'm inside. And the Saluto is a great car to be inside of. It's comfortable. It's got good sound system, which Kia actually does a great job of across the range. I notice with the rest of their model lineup, they prioritize their sound system and their infotainment system, even with the base models, even with the lowest tier models in the lineup.
Okay.
So I mean, I appreciate that because I'm gonna be spending most of my time. Well, if I were going to work, commuting back and forth, I'd be spending hours in traffic inside the car. So I don't actually care so much how it looks to people on the outside. I care more about how it makes me feel when I'm driving it.
Okay, since we discussed the Jazz, and the Jazz, as well, Honda is my example of how they make very nice interiors. So we're going to go and jump to Nix. And Nix, what is your choice?
Yeah, so my choice is the Honda Jazz, but like the mid variant, the 1.5 VX Navi, because the RS is actually like above $1 million already, so it's not.
Okay, can you show us a photo, please?
Yep. Okay, sharing screen.
Okay, so Nix chose to go right up against the barrier of 1 million. Nix is not married, has hobbies, very, very different choice. So explain your choice, please, Nix.
Actually, good thing you mentioned about the hobbies because that was like one of my primary considerations. So when picking a car, this price point, for me, I think I could have added a little more, or like reach the barrier of the million to get a car that's mechanically fun to drive. Then the Jazz is really fun to drive. Like if I were to go up to Tagaytay and back, I know I'm gonna enjoy the car. But like what you said, because I have a lot of hobbies that require luggage space, like the Jazz is very versatile. As you can see here, the Jazz is very versatile, and that's why I chose it over the City because of this versatility in cargo.
Because you could open up the back.
Yes, there are things though that I'm sacrificing, and like for example, this car has no Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and like as much as I kind of agree with Chris that it's a big buying determinant, and and I know I'm going to be missing out when I get the VX, but at least I know that hey, like at least this car drives well and it has Bluetooth, and I'm willing to compromise that.
Okay. Is there a higher variant that has the features you want?
No.
There's not. Okay.
But this one also, like it only has 2 airbags when the RS has 6. So that's another big factor. The Honda Jazz RS.
Okay.
The step above.
Okay, so there is a step above this which has more airbags, but not the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto you want, right?
Yeah.
Quick question. When you say Apple, like Chris, you mentioned it has Android Auto.
Yeah.
But does that mean it also has Apple CarPlay? Is that always the case?
Yes, not always the case.
Not always the case.
Not always the case, but in my
Usually.
case, the Saluto does have it also.
Okay.
I
because
think
it-
it's up to
ahead.
the manufacturers which one they choose, whether it's one or the other or both. But there's always that option.
Yeah, but if they don't put both of them, then that means that you're tied to your phone system, which people change. So
Yes.
anybody remember that old BMW that had that one Nokia phone that fit perfectly, but no longer exists? And now there's
Yeah.
a harder economy for that phone. by people that still have that car. It's hilarious.
No, that's a good point. I mean, if we're buying for 5 to 10 years, who's to say if Android will still be around at that time, or if Apple will be around at that time? I mean, yeah.
True.
That's true. Okay, so Paolo, let's go with your choice and
So
why.
I'm taking the Volkswagen Santana GTS. It's a wagon. Let me show
Awesome
you a
choice.
photo. Yeah. Wait. So I chose this car because I wanted something that I can enjoy as someone of my age. Like, I like driving around to long distances. I like going diving, camping, hiking. But also, so you would tell me, okay, why didn't you get a SUV or a crossover? The deciding factor for me was the appeal of a wagon. Me as a kid, I grew up with like European cars, so we've had like the Benzes, the 124s. So I was always drawn to like the European wagons.
Well, if
for
you got
me,
a
they were
photo,
always, yeah.
if you got a photo,
yeah. I'll send the photo now.
yeah. Okay, so the Santana GTS is a wagon. Since we
Yeah.
can't see the photo yet, it's a wagon. But is there a sedan variant?
There's a sedan variant. Actually, they're cheaper. They're priced a few hundred thousands lower than this one. There, the screen.
I find it really interesting that the youngest guy here picked the wagon.
I know. Well, see, he's clearly cooler than well. I
Here,
have two wagons, so we're cool guys.
sharing the screen.
Okay. No, actually, I really like the Santana. And remember there was that time when Volkswagen did the outgoing wagon diesel thing, and that was an awesome choice.
Yes.
So this is a
Too bad
replacement for that.
they
I've actually
Yeah.
driven this car, but not the wagon, and I would go with Paolo on this. I would choose if I were choosing
So
this
there
car, no
are-
question.
Yeah, there are a few differences when it comes to details compared to the sedan. Like this one has a more premium and sporty interior. It has like a darker gray finish. It has faux carbon finishes all over the interior and red stitches on the seats and red accents on the dashboard. So that's a huge difference in terms of feel because the Santana sedan is just a basic gray interior that you usually find at that price point.
Is it, sorry, was it leather or not? I don't remember what you said.
It's not leather. I'll show
It's
you
not leather.
I'll show you a interior photo.
Okay.
Yeah, so it has some full leather. It has some full leather details, but it's also mixed with some cloth. One interesting thing about this one is priced at 998, but at 998 it doesn't come with the Blaupunkt infotainment touchscreen. So you'd have to pay an additional 31,000 pesos for that.
Okay, so that would
That's
bump
what-
it over your barrier. Okay.
Yes, definitely. But for me, I won't find much wagon options below 1 million. So this was a huge deciding factor for me.
Okay,
Because
so the
I like
wagon
the
was a
feel
key
of
point.
driving a wagon. Yeah.
Wagon was a key
Yeah.
point. Okay.
It was a key
Is there an
point.
SUV under that barrier from Volkswagen?
The Tiguan, I think, is above 1 million. Would
Okay.
you get? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big one's at 1.6.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's really nothing. So there is no SUV from Volkswagen that is below 1 million.
No, none yet.
Yeah.
None yet.
Oh.
Okay,
The
so
big
if
ones
you
are
were
all-
okay, would an SUV have satisfied? Because so far we have it in SUV, right? Would an SUV satisfy your needs under 1 million?
Okay. In terms of needs, it would satisfy my needs in terms of like, of course, technology. I'm sure some of them would have a touchscreen. They would have the space for what I need because I go out a lot. I like going hiking, camping, diving. So it would have the space, but it doesn't have the appeal of the wagon that I look for. The drive.
So
So
it has to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So you want
Yeah.
to be seen in a wagon.
yeah, because like at my age now, like it's something I can enjoy. As a personal drive, I can go have a drive alone, but 5 to 10 years from now, maybe I'll have a family. It's still something I can use. So
Really
this was
ahead.
I'm
We've-
thinking long term.
We've trained him well, haven't we, Chris? Okay.
So, yeah.
Thinking of
no,
a
no.
family already. Okay.
Well, he clearly got the whole white leather thing right. So, okay, so the next one up is Gerard, who has the flyer of the group. Gerard, what is your choice?
Yeah, the Suzuki Ortega GLX. It's the top of the line, which goes for 993,000. I chose it because it's the most balanced of the bunch. And I guess I'm at that age, almost hitting 50 in like 2 years or 1 year. So I'm looking for balance, in my choices. And this one, yes, it's a seven-seater, but it's not as large. The length is pegged at around 4.3 meters. And the wheelbase is at 2,740. And yeah, and
Okay,
as I said,
How does that compare to your other choices here?
yeah, actually, I was choosing between that and the Mazda 2, which I know is apples to oranges.
Yeah, it's completely different car.
Yeah, yeah. But that's the thing. The Mazda 2 is really more of a personal car, wherein just me and I guess probably a companion, but the rear seats are tight, so that will be a factor. Unlike this one, I guess what I'm looking for is um the most car for your peso, because I grew up in an era where Accords were still 1 million pesos. That was like 20 years ago. So you honestly can't get that now. So I guess now, you're getting this one. You've got, um, I mean, sure, it doesn't have the flashy big engines and all. It's just got a 1.5 liter, 106 horsepower engine, 4-speed automatic, two airbags. The seats aren't even leather. But it's very classy. It's got a 10-inch infotainment system,
Mhm.
uh, with the reverse sensors. So basically, it's got the necessities, and it can be used as both a personal car, a family car, and even if you wanna load stuff in it for let's say you wanna go biking or even surfing, you can load a surfboard in it. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
balance. It's
Yeah, I
basically
really
about
like
balance.
the Ertiga, and
Yeah.
there aren't a lot of choices under a million for seven
It's at
seaters.
70. Yes, correct. That's what drew
Yeah,
me to it. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
what are the other choices?
the
What else
Honda
would you have looked at?
Mobilio.
Okay.
The Honda Mobilio is another. Besides that, I don't think there are any other.
But the thing with the Mobilio, it looked too much like an odd looking MPV. I mean, I love MPVs, but the Mobilio just goes that way too much. Unlike the Ertiga, it's got the character line in the side.
Yeah,
That honestly, that's something to, it gives it class. And
All right.
Yeah.
pardon the term, pero it gives it character. Pun
yeah.
intended.
Yeah,
It gives
that's
it
good.
character.
That
So,
it
Okay, so
also looks
let's
yes,
really
let's
very
look
good.
at all these choices. Let's look at all the choices that you guys have made and dissect them. For one, you have no Chinese cars in this list. You have the Volkswagen. You have the Volkswagen, which is built in China with a Volkswagen name. But we've been going
Yeah.
crazy on Chinese cars. So why have you
Mhm.
guys not chosen any Chinese cars?
Haha.
I
Uh-huh.
I my second choice would have been the Geely Coolray. The Geely Coolray. The Geely Coolray. At the yeah, same mistake. But that would
Do you
have been
guys
my
own
second.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so
yeah.
you would have chosen Geely Coolray.
Okay, and we actually have one, but like if you were if I was picking for myself, like I still enjoy driving. I like climbing up the mountain, and I wanted to feel sporty. And okay, surprisingly, the Geely Coolray is sporty, but the Jazz is like on a level that like you can really enjoy the fun in driving.
Well, could that just be because of the
Yeah.
size of the car? It's a lighter
Yes,
car. It's more fun.
light
Hmm.
lighter size and then lower center of gravity. So it inherently has good driving dynamics compared to any SUV.
And
But
is it
like
also
if
because,
mm,
you're also going to be thinking if I added a little more, I could have gotten the higher variants, more toys. Although it is above a million, so would that be a
yeah, but
factor?
well, it would have been a factor, but like since it didn't have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, it's like there's no like reason for me to feel bad on the jump, or in this case, the
Okay, yeah,
lack of the
Okay.
jump.
yeah,
Would the cool rate have come in under a million?
Yes,
yes,
The base
998.
model.
the base
Okay, so
model,
it's
Mhm.
yes.
just okay, got
And
it.
that's enough for me. Like you lose the 3D camera, all the nice high tech stuff, but as far as I'm concerned, for me, that's fine.
Okay. So when you guys have to make your choices, you have backed away from the China-made cars.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that is because we really have no track record yet on them, and that's been the key point for everybody. That's a question everybody asks after the
Yes,
first question is,
the,
do
the,
they make
long,
good cars?
Yeah.
The
But
second question is
longevity,
I just want to say
longevity.
yeah.
I want to say something though, that I backed out from the Chinese car not because it was Chinese, but because there was the Jazz gave more of what I wanted,
All right. Well, you also
but
really
not
like
because
that. You
Chinese.
really like that car. We know that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
I've
yeah.
So
always
here's the
been
next
that.
question. If the next question is if it's potentially possible that you backed away from those cars because of longevity, why is there not a Toyota on your list?
Oh, that's a good
Oh.
one.
Ooh.
Do we have to
Oh,
answer that?
Maybe
Yes,
you
you
just want to
do.
be
Do we
Why?
have to
Why?
answer
Ales,
that?
These
Ales,
are your
Ales,
choices.
Ales,
Next question,
Ales,
please.
Ales.
These are your choices. What
Oh
are the
no.
Toyotas? What are the Toyotas under a million, and why did you not choose them?
uh,
Legit question. They're the best-selling cars.
yeah. Um,
Chris, go.
okay. Well,
let me
the
hear it.
obvious choice for that would be the Vios, right?
Oh
Best-selling
yeah.
car in
Yeah.
the
For
country.
sure.
Best-selling
Well,
car in the
that's
country for a reason.
yeah.
It's reliable, dependable. They're Toyotas. Parts are cheap, easy to repair, easy to maintain. Now, the thing about Toyotas is they don't always pack the same value in terms of features to their bottom tier cars. Actually, well, yeah. It could be
Okay, but
said
the
that
replacement for that is the basically bulletproof maintenance
yeah,
and ownership experience.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
it boils down to personal preference, what your priorities are really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're a practical person and you don't really care about the infotainment system, you don't care about other features like if you have HID or not, you don't care about leather seats. If you don't care about any of those things, then
Because it's the
then
smartest answer.
The Toyota
Yeah.
would be the best choice. The Toyota would be the best choice, but we care about those things.
Yeah.
Okay,
There you
so
go.
okay, what Toyotas under a million would fit your categories here?
The
What would
Yaris.
you have been?
Um,
What would have been the contenders?
Yaris or the Vios.
Can I answer?
Yes,
Yeah.
Paolo.
I would get the Toyota Vios XLE. I think it's
Okay.
at
Oh yes, that's the best
it's
among
around
among
800,000. So
Okay.
it's the most basic Vios option that has a CVT. It has Bluetooth. It has a touchscreen. It has power door locks. It has a power window. So those are like the basic stuff I would need and I would want for my everyday car.
Okay.
It
They
has
just
some
didn't
it
have a
had,
wagon. They just didn't have your wagon.
it didn't have a wagon.
the Vios wagon. No, but
Okay,
the
Toyota.
XLE, XLE was basically the J mod, the really base model,
Yep.
and then they just
So-
put the touchscreen.
Okay, what's
Yeah.
the next level up that would come? Is there anything that would come in right at the barrier that would have put you guys in this car, in this brand? You said the Vios you mentioned was a base model. Is there another model above it?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, there.
Is it under a million?
So
Yes,
yeah,
there
there
is.
are. Yeah.
Okay, what's
No.
the
Okay, so that
Huh?
The
The
top of the
Toyota
line
Corolla.
Vios exceeds a million. Top of the line
No,
Vios
no.
is one
yeah, but
1056.
above
Okay.
the XLE, you have the E CVT, which is at 891K, and
Okay.
then the G manual transmission at 997,000. So there are two variants you can choose from above this XLE.
Okay.
But the top of the line variant Chris is talking about is the G CVT. It's at 1,056,000.
Yeah, that's the pinaka
Okay.
high end.
Okay.
Or you can get the Altis manual. That's 999.
That's true too. Okay. Okay. Which brings us to another question. Chris, you have to run a business. What would you choose if you were buying a business car?
Oh wow. I'd probably. Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. For a business
Your
car, I
personal car is a quarter
yeah,
of a mil below our cap,
yeah.
right? So for a business car where you're looking at, I don't know if you would go with a manual or not, but you're still looking at some of these other vehicles. What would you choose?
For the business car, we're talking about trucks, right? Or things that can
No,
carry
no,
a lot
no.
of cargo. No.
If you
No, what I
gotta
mean
get a
by
small
trucks
car.
is more a more commercial
No,
passenger
not
type
necessarily.
car.
Not necessarily. Just a car for your business. You know, the first car for C as a business was a Corolla, right?
Well, if we're talking about that, then I'd get a Vios. I would
Yeah.
for
No.
yeah. I mean,
Piece
if
of
it's for a
everything.
business, if we're talking about a company car or something, I would prioritize the stuff that Toyota
Reliability.
prioritizes:
Yeah.
reliability, parts, maintenance, and safety with the airbags.
Mhm.
So yeah, I would get a Vios if that was the case.
Or Hilux, like the J, if it's really like for commercial
How,
use.
how much is that?
924? Let me check. Yeah,
Oh,
924.
okay.
If
Wait,
it's like
what's it?
commercial,
Is that the base model Hilux?
the super base model Hilux, the J.
Okay, by the
So
time this comes out, they will have launched the new one, or the refreshed one, or whatever, right?
yeah, I'm sure
Uh,
they'll keep I wouldn't be surprised if they kept a J model, like on
so
Yeah.
you
like
went
the
from
new.
I'm sure to I wouldn't be surprised. So you
Yeah,
vacillated. No, no, but I mean,
yeah.
well, that brings another. This brings us to actually the next discussion point we're going to have, which is when do we buy a car? Actually, right? Do you
Oh
buy an
yes, I did
outgoing car?
Mm,
Do you buy a
mhm.
brand new car? Would you wait
for the
for
launch
the let's say
Yeah.
for
model.
this
Yeah.
the Hilux, which is launching in what days, right?
Yeah,
After given when we're discussing this, would you wait or would you go? So that's another point. Um, especially for these. We're talking about all these cars that are under a million right now, but we're in a very aberrant situation where you have cars that are just lower than they should have been. Quick question then. Of the cars you chose, how many are within that million because of a price drop within the last 5 months?
no,
None.
No,
No,
like
we didn't take
they're really
any
price sensitive.
these
discounts.
are
No
Yeah.
yeah, these
discounts.
are
Really
all
price sensitive.
these are all
Oh wow! If
SRTs.
we did that, that would have opened it up to a lot more cars.
Okay,
But
quick answer. What would yours have been, Chris?
mine would have been the BRV, the Honda BRV. It's right
Mm.
now you can't find any of the variants under a million. But with the discounts, they fall under. They
Yeah.
drop down.
Okay,
So
these are discounts available to where. Okay, you guys. To clarify, you guys are working off the C Buyer's Guide numbers, which are the most current that we can get, bothering them on a regular basis. But that does not include sudden
Discount.
dealer deals such
Yeah.
as 2-for-1s from Hyundai or whatever.
yeah,
So if, but these are, let's also be clear, these are deals that are available to everybody. They're not special personal deals to us. These are deals that you will see if you check us online or check a newspaper or whatever. So
Yes.
if given the current situation, you would go with a BRV, Chris.
yes, yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
Nix, what would you go with?
Yeah.
Okay. So with the discounts, so
Yes, quick answer right
uh,
now, under a million,
yeah, quick,
what car?
Geely Coolray, the Geely Coolray,
So
the
you
top
would
of the line.
take the same.
I did it again.
Did you say Geely
We're gonna
again?
put up
Yes, I
Geely.
did.
Yes, okay. So you would go with the higher
Yeah.
variant car that still fit within your thing. Okay,
Yes.
Paulo,
Would
your choice.
have to go with Chris's choice, the BRV, because I've driven it a couple of times.
That's good.
It's one of the most practical and most comfortable one. At that price point. At that price point, it's a bang for the buck car at that price.
Okay, Gerard, your choice.
I'd have to agree with Nick's. The Geely Coolray probably. Well, if the discount can, hack it, the sport. But if not, the premium would be more than okay.
It
Okay,
will happen.
so
Yeah.
what's interesting is that the move upwards in price brought two of you guys to the Geely.
Hmm.
It's that
Geely,
good.
or whatever. No,
Yeah,
no, no.
it is.
That's a very
That
good point.
good.
Yeah.
And it didn't bring you to Toyotas.
Well, yeah.
No. It's but
I
No,
don't think Toyotas are very aggressive with their discounts.
no,
Not as
they don't.
aggressive as the other brands.
They've
Yeah.
never needed to be. So
Yeah, exactly.
they're
But
basically
they're not as aggressive as the other brands in terms of discounts, especially during this time. So the price differences aren't as pronounced as the other brands are. Some brands are giving 100, 200 grand off, which
yeah.
is huge.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the other thing to remember, people, is that we look at these in terms of a simple number. Buying a car is not a simple number choice. Look at Chris; he went in $250,000 pesos below our cap because of something that he liked. So these are emotional choices as much as they are financial choices. So cars still give us some kind of emotional connection, even though the world is changing, and they say that less people are buying cars now. They say that less people are falling in love with cars now. They say that cars last less long than they used to, which is very annoying, but it's just the way it is. So we are going to discuss more from what we came here. We are going to discuss next time. We're going to be discussing things like, when do you buy the car, or what if your cap is based on what the company tells you. It says you have a 30,000 peso budget for the year. The bank tells us you can only spend 30,000 pesos a month. What do you choose then? Does that make it different? We'll find out. We're also going to do things like, we're going to talk about what to do during this pandemic, and that might lead us to going off the beaten path. We're going to be discussing how to maintain your car when you don't want to buy a new one. We're going to be discussing what are the used car opportunities right now. Are they going up? Are they going down? A lot of people need new cars. A lot of the people need more cars, or a lot more people need cars. But at the same time, there are those that are very wary of selling their cars because they're worried about the pricing. We're going to have all those discussions later on. So I'm going to put you all in the spot. Vocalize your final choices. Chris, what was your final choice again?
Wait, are we talking about the original criteria?
The original.
Okay, yeah, it was the Kia Saluto 1.4 EX at 755.
Okay, Paulo, your choice was?
Mine's the Volkswagen Santana GTS at 998,000 pesos.
The only wagon with the youngest guy. Nix, what was your choice?
Jazz for life.
Over a pickup truck, we know. Okay, Gerard, what was your choice?
Yeah, the Suzuki Ortega Glx at
I think that was the smartest choice. Though.
993,000. Thanks, bro.
No, ako, like among all the cars we have, I think the Suzuki Ortega GLX is the smartest choice.
As I said, you're hitting 50, so you have to.
The Suzukis they have this insane kind of brand loyalty. And, there's really nothing. I find it interesting that we didn't include the APV here. I think the Suzuki APV, is this unique vehicle that it gives so much more than others do at a price point that's just insanely good.
It is. My uncle has one, and he's happy with it.
I know. So but it's much less, and agreeably the Ertiga has more. But I gotta say and this is an example of, and then like Chris said, you might be drawn to something that's less expensive, but because it just holistically feels right. To me, the APV feels right. It's got a lot of negatives in some ways, and yet it's this the people that have it love it. I probably wouldn't. Another point, if I had moved up to that level of the Ertiga, there might have been other choices for me.
True. So you have a point there, but yeah.
Okay, so we are wrapping up. Thank you very much, everyone. This is the Cars Casually team of C, and we're gonna put these guys on the spot even more next time. So let's see who sweats. We've got Chris, we've got Nix, we've got Paulo, we've got Gerard. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Stay safe.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everyone.